I'm not going to argue against anyone for not liking Nintendo simply because they just don't like their games. I mean, if you're not going to like Nintendo, then not liking their games is the ultimate, number one, indisputable, ironclad reason not to like Nintendo games and systems. However, when people say stuff like, I don't like Nintendo because Nintendo hates me, Nintendo doesn't want my money, Nintendo doesn't care about me, Nintendo doesn't care about real gamers like me, and what the heck are you talking about? I mean, you could not like Nintendo all you like, but you think Nintendo hates you? You think Nintendo just put a knife in your back with the Wii just because they have, a handful of Mii games? Meanwhile, they're coming out with all the traditional games that players on Nintendo systems before they started going after the expanded casual audience. Donkey Kong Country Returns and Sin and Punishment and Fire Emblem and Kirby's Return to Dreamland and the Mario Galaxy duology and Battalion Wars and Zelda Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess and Animal Crossing, which goes back to the N64 games, and in Rhythm Heaven and the like. I mean, maybe are you just what? I don't get it. I mean, you could not like any of those games, but how can you say that Nintendo they hate you? They're just stabbed you in the back. They abandoned you for casual Wii Sports grandma. Meanwhile, they're producing the games that Nintendo fans have been clamoring for. I mean, it's true there's been no Pikmin for Wii, or there hasn't been a true Star Fox game for Wii. There hasn't been an F Zero for Wii, but that's not what I'm hearing. The people saying making these claims they're complaining about that. They're saying Nintendo doesn't make games for me anymore. Nintendo doesn't. They don't want my money anymore. I mean, and the other one, oh, Nintendo, they just all they make is Mario and Zelda and Pokemon. That's all they make. It's the same stuff over and over. Did you buy Chibi Robo? Did you buy Freaky Forms or Odama or Dylan's Rolling Western, which just came out in the USA, or Steel Diver or Fortune Street or Pushmo? Did you consider any of those games? Did you even consider caring enough to know these games exist? Because they've certainly done a good job letting people know that these new games exist. I mean, these new games are pretty much the bread and butter of what Nintendo's doing on the 3DS. And then there's games like, Zelda. It's the same thing over and over. Have you even given the DS Zelda games a try, or have you given Kirby's Canvas Curse a try, where they've taken Mario and Zelda, same characters in the same setting, but they've put a totally new spin on where they play completely differently from earlier Kirby games and earlier Zelda games. Have you given those a try? I mean, the thing is, and then you want to say like, oh, Reggie hates me. Reggie hates Nintendo fans. Reggie hates Nintendo gamers. Reggie's the worst thing to ever happen to Nintendo. Reggie should be fired. Reggie, he's this miserly dictator who he hates North American gamers, and he's stopping Mother from coming to the U.S. and he's stopping the Rainfall games from coming to the U.S. And okay, you don't understand why this hate towards Reggie of all people regarding which games do and don't come to the U.S. I mean, of all the things Reggie is in charge of, he does not have some button in his office that he can press and just magically have Mother 3 come over, just magically have Xenoblade or The Last Story or Pandora's Tower come over. Of all the things Reggie does at Nintendo, specifically deciding which games are and aren't localized is one of the things he probably has the least say in. And since then, now we know that, I mean, when there's an opportunity to get Xenoblade brought over to North America, Nintendo of America is all on that. When there's a chance for Nintendo to work with Xseed to have The Last Story brought over to North America, Nintendo's all over that. If Nintendo hated North America and just didn't want them to have Xenoblade or didn't want them to have The Last Story, they could have just stomped that right into the ground and just like totally nipped it in the bud. But no, when there's an opportunity to bring a game over that fans are clamoring for, Nintendo's totally willing to go and do that. And in the case of these Rainfall games, they're doing that, as the Wii's in the twilight of its lifespan. And even if these games are successful, chances are I'd be surprised if Xenoblade and The Last Story, I'd be surprised if those games together sold even a few thousand new Wiis. I'd be surprised if those games together sold a total of 10,000 Wiis that wouldn't have already otherwise been sold. And 10,000 sounds like, but really, for all the resources and energy it takes to localize in a text intensive RPG and localize it and market it and manufacture it and ship it, 10,000 systems, if they even sell that many based on these two games, that's a drop in the bucket. That's almost negligible. As far as I'm concerned, like the Rainfall games, that the fact that two out of three of the three major Rainfall games being brought over, total goodwill gesture on behalf of Nintendo to the fans who are clamoring for these games. So I don't know why. Feel free not to like Nintendo just because. But if you want to rationalize and say, no, Nintendo hates me. Nintendo, they've got the hardcore gamer on a dartboard and they're just throwing darts right in the backs of the hardcore gamer because they hate them. They only want to sell Mii games now, even though the Mii games are just a fraction of what Nintendo's published on the Wii. And I mean, if you want to just pay attention to what's going on 3DS. If you want to say Nintendo isn't making games for their traditional hardcore fan base, just pay attention to what's on 3DS. And if you want to, I mean, yeah, like at this point, there are very few new re-releases coming, and the Wii was clearly not the system of choice when it comes to multi-platform releases, including a lot of hardcore games that were on the Xbox 360 and PS3 that just weren't on the Wii just because of a lack of horsepower. Uh, yeah, like you could say that the overall Wii library didn't appeal to you enough to justify the cost of the system, even if there are games on it that you would have liked. But I mean, look at what's going on 3DS. Look at what's already known for Wii U, and what's going. If just look at what they revealed for Wii U at E3 2011, and your body's not ready for what's coming in E3 2012. At E3 2012, the sentiment from not from Nintendo fans and Nintendo critics, unbiased Nintendo critics, and Nintendo skeptics, the healthy skeptics, and the Nintendo haters just like have it in for Nintendo. The attitude from all of them after E3 2012 is going to be, wow, I cannot believe that system with these features and these games and this game selection. I cannot believe that this is coming from Nintendo. That is going to be the sentiment coming. That's going to be the sentiment in the gaming community after E3 2012, 104 days from now as I'm filming this. And I can't guarantee that you'll be impressed with what Nintendo's going to come out with and reveal for 3DS and the full extent of what Wii U will entail, which will be revealed at E3 2012. I can't guarantee that you will be impressed or that you will like what you'll see from Nintendo's sixth home console at E3 2012, but I will guarantee that you will be surprised. So, keep hating Nintendo for now. Hopefully, they can impress you. Otherwise, that's their job to do, not mine. I'm just doing this for fun. So, I'll keep on gaming, no matter which system that may be. And thank you very much for watching.